If it's 10 pilot jobs, that's open. It could, they might give, let's say they give 4 of them to the qualified, to very qualified white males. And the next best 3 of them are also white. They're not going to get that job. The black man or the black woman that is probably ninth in line will get that job first because of DEI. That's the shit he's talking about. That's also the same shit Charlie Kirk was talking about. Just keeping it 100.
But look at that ratio. It's the white people are still significantly high. Like you said, 4 white people that qualify will get that position, and only one Negro that may not qualify or may do will get.
No. They gotta let in. According to this is the thing. First off, Trump is getting rid of that shit. Trump is trying to get rid of it.
Then that's regional too. What we're talking about is regional. Because look, for example, look who have all of the jobs. It's not blacks. That's for damn sure.
DEI didn't work for us, Ali. That's the thing. That's another thing. See, blacks, we get duped and get fall for the okie doke so much that we are easily fooled into. This is part of what I'm talking about with the racism thing. When I say they can easily just say, "Oh, he's being racist," DEI actually helped white women more than anybody.
Right.
Some were the ones. But keep in mind, it's not just based on race; it's also gender. So white women were able to get a lot of jobs they weren't qualified for.
But that's regional. Think about
DEI don't mean that you're not qualified. DEI mean just that you are a part of you're not a white man.
So let's think about when we.
It means you're not qualified. But what it does is it opens up the loophole for you to be able to qualify if you don't.
No,
Your career fields.
no, that is the narrative that they are pushing on DEI.
But what is the career fields when we talking about you?
You're qualified, but you are not a white man.
Because Jamie, when we worked in the kitchen, how many white chefs did you see? White women chefs? Because I didn't see that many. I saw maybe one.
Say that again.
Because I want to know like what specific fields of these career jobs that people are claiming jobs that they're getting. Because I lived in LA, and when me and you was working in the culinary field, working in those kitchens, I barely saw a white woman chef. Barely. It may be every blue, maybe like one. That's why I'm saying this shit gotta be regional. Think about it. How many?
Go know something. Now were most men? Absolutely. But I mean, I'm not saying that it 100% made everything equal, but I'm just saying that's what that was put into place to do.
No, it was requiring them to hire like these people are just as qualified as other candidates. If that was the case, they definitely wouldn't be hiring us. Like they're
But I thought diversity, equality, and that was already included through the civil rights movement. So what did they implement it? Re-implemented it? I thought we already fought for that.
see that is to include other people, other groups, right? Right. The civil rights was for black people. So like all these other acronyms really just diversity. That's their way of that's really their way of cheating black people because now
Okay.
they have to consider other races, not just the civil rights movement just for black people.
Okay.
But yeah, see, what you're saying is true. But what look,
But now they're changing it where the civil rights not only for black people, right? But it's for the way they reading it is was intended for black people, but other people benefited from it. That's their way of not hiring us for real, but hiring people from other groups. But we the ones fought for the civil rights movement. You see, that's how they cheated us. That's why I don't care for them to remove that because we wasn't benefiting from that. The people that y'all included in that right movement is who benefited from that. Even though we were the ones fighting for that, but that's what we was protesting. But that's how they cheated us. So if they're willing to remove that, who really cares as black people? We weren't benefiting from that by the time they implemented all these different immigrants, and
I've always looked at it as a per capita situation. I know that probably ain't the right term for this context, but maybe Solo, you can help me with the legal experience you have. So per capita mean if your population is outnumbered, and there's 10 slots available, and you give 6 or 7 to white people, save 2 or 3 for black people under the scrutiny that these people are qualified. So I do think that is a narrative that they're pushing to say, no, the black people ain't qualified. If you see a black pilot walk on a plane and make you scratch your head and stuff like that.
But look, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But look, let me kind of rephrase it. I'm not saying that, oh, this motherfucker dumb as rocks, but you gotta let him in because they saying that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, if let's say you doing a grades, you have a report card. If this person made a 100 test score, let's say 8 people out of the 10 made a 100 test score, and the black person may have made a 95. More than likely, you want the person that made 100. But due to that, you gotta let that 95 in. That's what I'm saying.
no, but if that was the case, if they could boot us out, now we know how they are be with us, right? If they could boot us out because we're disqualified, they ain't even gotta say nothing. That's the misnomer that they're teaching, but
No, they need. See, this is the thing.
but let,
They need your side.
but let me just finish. No, they're just gonna, because it's the thing that black people are the reason for the bill is that black people are meeting the marks. They are qualified, and you're still not choosing them.
Exactly.
Now you have to have a certain amount on your team. So now, because this person qualified, I have to pick them. So it's not like black people are coming in unqualified for these positions. They have to be qualified. And you have to pick them. If a person says I'm qualified for this position and I didn't get picked because I'm black, that's what they're arguing. They're not arguing I was unqualified for this position and I didn't get picked. Of course you didn't get picked, you wasn't qualified. So that's where the discrimination lawsuits come from.
So let's reverse this. Does that apply to us? Let's say if a black person form a corporation, right? And I'm like, I just want to hire. This is a all black business. Do I have to meet a quarter to hire so many? Like, does that rule apply to us too?
Not based on race. It's not constitutionally legal to do it based on race.
Right.
What is it?
Or you have to do what they do and say that you're unqualified. Right?
Right. That part. So
See, look, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all. Maybe this will help you understand a little bit better what I'm talking. When they used to have us in slavery, they had one way of doing it by brute force, right? Then they were taught by Willie Lynch how to implement the same form of slavery, but do it as fooling them like it's their free will, right?
Right.
That's kind of the same thing they did here. They're like, okay, look, we understand that they're qualified. So they want to, they'll do anything they can to maintain power. This is the thing, anything they can, even if it means putting some of us in. So they're not going to just keep denying everyone because that would cause an uproar. But if they do this, especially putting people, like, to be honest with you, a more qualified black that for his people is far more dangerous than a less qualified black that they can control.
Exactly.
So they're going to put them in place
Right.
because they can control him or they can control her.
Exactly, because that's all I.
that they can't. They're like, hell no.
Yeah.
This way we can strategically still
Exactly.
control what's going on.
Exactly.
That's what we talk.
Because that's what I see all the time. When I go to businesses, you see a black person that then lost their culture identity. And you like, oh my God, I see why they got hire him or have him. You know what I mean? Because they can control them. Now, a black person that's conscious, you a threat. They're not trying to have you around them.
Yes, like this is what the Obamas of the world, the the Jasmine Crockett's of the world, even though Kamala Harris not black, but they were trying to push her to be that of the world. They'll use any figures like that to maintain power.
Right, correct. Yeah.
Quick question for the panel, the comment section, and everybody else out there. Can y'all think of one category that when the rules and regulations are fair, our kind of people haven't dominated, black people haven't dominated? We already know sports, we know entertainment, and y'all probably know I'm going somewhere with this, but that's the question. Can you think of one category when the rules and regulations are fair and square, we haven't dominated?
Absolutely everything. That's why we're being oppressed, is because
American black people, right?
because we are superior than them.
American black people, I notice, dominate everything.
So with that, if everything, see, the thing about business can be manipulated. You can cook the books, all kind of stuff. So it's because so much power exists in business, I think that's why they fight us so hard when it comes to those slots that DEI was intended to grant people that's qualified. I understand the narrative they're trying to push out there. But if everything was fair, we have shown time and time again, if we're just as good, if not better.
That's why they cheat. That's why they set up adversities. Like I told you what happened to me. That was a government scam. They cheat you because they know you're better. So they have to strategically set up traps to make you fail. I told you that. That's factual. If the game is played fair, they're going to be at the bottom of the fucking puddle, and they know that.
Gotta agree with that. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Think about it. If I was one of them, I ain't gonna lie. If I was one of them, I'd see this too. Shit.
I'm gonna tell you this. Do this. Try this. Google something from your phone, right? Just try to Google some type of information from your phone and watch how limited you are. Then ask one of your white friends, hey, let me see your phone, and research that same shit. I bet 10 times more information pop up than what you're looking for. This shit is deep. I'm talking about people don't understand how deep that they're trying to keep us oppressed. And you got to ask yourself, why y'all fighting that hard if y'all so superior?
Well, I don't have white friends, but I do know that they recognize that we are better than them. But that's why they have to oppress us, right?
Right. And like Jamie said, shit, if I knew that, but I wouldn't cheat. Like, I don't know, but we not them. That's why I said you got to look at it from white people perspective, because it got to be hard for them when every day you come outside and it's a culture, a race of people that you have to see that everything they have, you want. Everything. And you lack